Shown here is a complex circuit involving capacitors, which are both in series and parallel. We want to solve this system, figure out what is the potential drop across each capacitor, and how much charge will each capacitor hold. The capacitances of the capacitors is given. Let's go ahead and write those in. C1 is 1 farad. C2 is 2 farads, and C3 is 1 farad. All right, so our approach here is going to be to simplify the circuit by identifying capacitors which are directly in either parallel or series. So we have to look carefully at the diagram and decide, is any of the combinations directly parallel or series? When we're looking for parallel, we're looking for, are there two branches which will be joined on one side and then also joined on the other side so their plates are directly in contact through a conductor. And that is definitely the case here. This right here is a parallel combination of capacitors. So that's something we can simplify. To simplify this, all we have to do is redraw those capacitors as one single equivalent capacitor. All right, so if this is C1, C2, and C3, when we redraw the thing, we'll have C1, and then something that we could label as perhaps C23, which is a combination of capacitors 2 and 3. Okay. And then what we want to do is combine the remaining two capacitors, and we're looking for, are they in series or parallel? These capacitors are in series because it's one directly connected to the other through a conductor. So if we redraw that, then we get this. And we can call our final capacitor CEQ, which is the equivalent capacitor for all the capacitors in this circuit. Now our diagram has been simplified. But what we want to do is we want to use the rules for equivalent capacitors to figure out what is the capacitance of CEQ. That's our goal here. All right, so when we combine capacitors C2 and C3, we want to use the rule C23 equals C2 plus C3. Okay, so C2 is 2 farads, C3 is 1 farad. Add those together. And we can write in the capacitances that we found. C1 is 1 farad. That one remains the same. But C23 is going to be 3 farads. Okay, now when we find the equivalent capacitance, CEQ, we have to use the rule for series, which is mathematically a little bit more complicated. It's going to be 1 over C1 plus 1 over our C23 capacitor. All right, so that's going to be 1 over 1 plus 1 over 3. Okay, so that's 0.75 farads. All right, great. Now what we'd like to do is work our way backwards. All right, so when we're finding the equivalent capacitance, we want to simplify our circuit down. But now that we're finding the potential differences across the capacitors and the charges on them, we actually want to work our way back up. So we'll start here from the most simplified circuit. And we see that our battery has a 10 volt potential difference. That tells us that the potential difference across our CEQ is also going to be 10 volts. Now we can use the voltage and the capacitance to find out how much charge would be on our theoretical equivalent capacitor. All right, so the charge that's on it can be called the charge total, or sometimes people will put charge of the battery because this is how much charge is leaving the battery. Let's see, it's going to be CEQ times the delta V of the battery. All right, so that's going to be 0.75 farads times 10 volts. That gives us 7.5 coulombs. I'll write that in. Now, if 7.5 coulombs of positive charge is piled onto the positive plate here, then that tells us that 7.5 coulombs is also going to be piled onto the positive plate of C1. So C1's charge is also 7.5 coulombs. Okay, now if 7.5 coulombs of negative charge piles onto the negative plate here, then 7.5 coulombs of negative charge is going to pile on to this capacitor as well. So they have the same charge. But remember that C23 is only an imaginary theoretical equivalent capacitor. It's not a real capacitor. It's the combination of 2 and 3. So we don't know what part of that charge goes on to either of C2 or C3 yet. But one thing we do know is that the amount of charge on C1 is definitely 7.5 coulombs. Okay. So in order to figure out how much of the charge goes on to these two, we're going to need to know the voltage drop across them. So let's go to the middle diagram and let's find the voltage drops across each of these capacitors. All right, so let's fill in that Q1 is going to be 7.5 coulombs. Okay, let's find the voltage drop across capacitor 1. So that's going to be Q1 over C1, which will be 7.5 coulombs over 1 farad. It's going to be 7.5 volts. All right, so we've got 7.5 volts on our 1 farad capacitor. And we also know that we have to drop a total of 10 in any loop of getting from the positive terminal back to the negative terminal. So that's one way we can find that the voltage drop across this capacitor must be 2.5. Another way to do it would be simply to take the 3 farads of capacitance and the 7.5 coulombs and just divide to find that 2.5 volts as well. So we know this is 7.5 volts. Capacitors in parallel will have the same voltage drop, so there'll be 2.5 volts dropped here and a similar 2.5 volts dropped there. Okay, finally we'll use the capacitance as well as the potential drop to find the charge on those individual capacitors. All right, so our Q is going to be C2 times delta V2 here. So that'll be 2 farads and 2.5 volts, which is 5 coulombs. And here we'll use C3 delta V3. All right, we want to check and make sure that everything adds up. So in any one path that you take through, you have to drop 10 volts. So let's say that I take the lower path here. Will I have dropped 10 volts total in that path? Well, I dropped 7.5 volts in the first capacitor. I dropped 2.5 volts in the C3, and then I come back to the negative terminal. So that one checks. All right, we also want to see if we take the alternate path here, the upper path. Okay, do I drop 10 volts in that path? 7.5 through the first capacitor and 2.5 through C2. So yes, in both paths I dropped 10 volts, which is good. We also want to see if the electric charge on the capacitors makes sense. So we're going to be putting 7.5 coulombs of positive charge on this plate. So we just need to make sure that we're going to get a total of 7.5 coulombs of negative charge onto these other plates. So 5 plus 2.5 makes 7.5, so that checks. We'll have 5 coulombs here and 2.5 coulombs here, and it checks.